What's happening, Logan? All right, so we're moving into the next four questions, 16 through 19. These ones here are all talking about angles and arcs. So that's the first thing we want to make sure we understand, angles and arcs. If you take a look at that guy right there, that's an angle. So we're taking a look at angles, angle there, arc there, angle, degrees, angle, arc, everything. Oh my God, they're all over the place. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through all these problems here, make sure we understand how these problems work, how the angle arc type questions work, and try to explain them as best I can. All right, question number 16. Find the measure of arc HF. So arc HF is this guy right here. Unfortunately, they didn't give me anything about arc HF, but they did tell me the angle of angle F, the angle right here. So we know that that angle is 129. Now, since this arc subtends that angle, we can say if we double the angle, we get the arc out there. All right, so we can go 129, double that. That comes out to 258, I believe. So we know that this arc here is 258. So we took the 129 and we doubled it. We also know that the entire circle, all the way around, is going to be 360. So if we take the 258 and subtract it from 360, so the 258 taken away from the 360, which gives us 102, that will be arc HF. So we can say that the measure of arc HF is equal to 102. All right, moving on. Question number 17. Let's take a look at that guy. So 17 says find x. Oh man, I hate these ones. The reason I hate these ones is that the two arcs that we know, the 53 and the 41, they actually don't go to x. Don't let that stop you though. You can still find x, you just got to find a little bit more. So I know that if I take the 53 and the 41, the 53 and the 41, and I add them, that'll give me 94. If I divide it by 2, if I cut it in half, that's going to give me the angle. So I take the 94, divide it by 2, and that's going to give me the angle. Unfortunately, that's not the angle x. It's the angle that's next to the x. So this is going to give us, what is that, 47? So we now know that this guy, that angle y thing right there, the one that we made up, is 47. The good news is we know that when two angles are created by intersecting lines, they create a linear pair. In other words, they add up to 180. So to find x, we just take the 47 that we found, subtract it from 180, and we get 133. So we know that x is 133 degrees. Okay, so while it is a little bit more complex because you're not directly finding the x immediately, you can find it. You just kind of have to take a roundabout technique. Moving on to question number 18, find the x in this one here. Let's see. I feel like a lot of you guys remember how to do this one. It's just you misuse it sometimes. So go over a couple of things. Notice you have the two lines that are tangent. This technique only works when they're tangent lines. And the technique states that if you take the angle and you take the arc that goes towards the angle, that subtends it towards it, those two things must add up to 180. So we know that x plus the 138 is equal to 180. Now there's a lot of different techniques you can use. You can actually use a different technique, but this is the one that I'm going to go with here, applying that theorem that we learned in class. So we subtract the 138 from the 180, and that's going to tell us that x is equal to 42 degrees. If you want to double check it, just add the 42 and the 138, make sure that they add up to 180. And moving on to our last question, number 19 for the third video, we have to find x. Now this one, this and this don't add up to 180 because the two lines are not tangent. Let's see, we got this arc here, but we don't have this one here, and that's the problem. We need that guy. But you'll notice that this arc was told to us. This arc that we don't need, they gave us, which kind of makes me think we do need it. So this right here we do need. And if you remember how circles work, the measure of the entire circle is 360. So if I take the 174, and if I was to add it to the 119, and then add that to that green guy, right? The green one is FD. I know that all of those have to add up to equal 360. So what I could do is I could take the 174 and the 119. That's going to give us 293. If I take that away from 360, right? So if I take that away from 360, that should give us how much FD is. So we now know that FD is 67. Now we have the green arc, FD, and the red arc, DE. Both of those subtend angle with X in it. So what we can do is we can take the red angle, the 119, the larger of the two. We can subtract it from the smaller angle, the 67. And if you divide that by 2, that is what X is equal, or double X is equal to the two arcs being subtracted. I like this one because the X is already by itself. We go 119, take away the 67. Let's see, what is that? 33 plus 19, 40, 52. So we have 52 over 2, which comes out to 26. So we know that X is 26. Just give me a second. I want to double check my math on this guy. 52, 1, 10. Yeah, looks good. All right. I will see you guys on the next video, the last video to complete this review. Hopefully, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.